Hi, welcome back. So there are different types of inheritance. We are going to start by single inheritance in this video. We are having a class called animal, and this animal class has one function only. And the function name is sound1. Whenever this sound1 function is called, it is going to print this message. Animal makes a sound. Okay? Then we are having a dog class that inherits from the animal class. In order to show that a class inherits from another class, we write down the keyword of class, then we type down the name of our current class, let's say the child. Then we are in parentheses mentioning for example, the parent class. Okay? So here, the dog class inherits from the animal class. This is how we can show it in Python. So in this dog class, we are having a function called sound2, and whenever this sound2 function is called, this message is shown in the output. Dog barks. Okay? Now, I would like to create an object from the dog class. So we write down the object name. I call it d equals dog, an empty parenthesis, because we have no arguments to pass because we have no constructor here. Then using that object, I call the sound2 function. When I call the sound2 function, it is going to show this message to me in the output. Dog barks. Okay? This is printed in the output. However, because the dog class inherits from the animal class, using an object of the dog class, I can have access to the sound1 function as well. So I write down the name of my object, which is d.sound1. And when I run the code, I see that this animal makes a sound message is shown in the output. So one thing that we learned in this video, if a class inherits from another class, okay, let's say the child class inherits from the parent class, I can create an object from the child class and use that object, to call the functions of the parent class. This is what we learned so far. But what if the name of these two functions are the same? So we are having a parent class that has a function called sound, and we are having a child class that has a function called sound again. So in this case, when I have two functions in two classes that are having the same name and one function inherits from another function, when I create an object of the child class and I try to call the sound function, it will indeed call this sound function and not this one. Okay, so when I run this code, we see that dog barks is shown in the output. So this is the second point that we need to learn about single inheritance. If the parent class and the child class both are having functions that are having the identical names, we are creating an object of the child class. Through that object, we can only access the function that is inside the child class if both names of the functions are the same in the child and parent class. Okay. However, if the functions are not the same and there are different names here, for example, using the object of the child class, we can have access to both of the functions thanks to inheritance. So this was a very good example to understand the basic concepts of single inheritance in Python. In the following videos, we are going to talk about different types of inheritance in Python. Thank you for watching.